Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
I'm Jonathan Federa. I'm here to inspire you to hustle and grow your income while doing what you love. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you can't prosper. Just because you have tragedy doesn't mean you can't triumph. Actually, you should be taking advantage of that.
There's positivity in my pain. I took scarcity and turned it into strength. I always tell life, there's not much you can do to me where I won't make an obstacle an opportunity. We never lose, we only learn lessons. If you wanna change your perspective. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how right now. This is about to go down. You are tuning in to creating success out of failure. Creating success creating success out of failure. Out of failure.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's show, Creating Success Out of Failure. I'm going to do something a little bit different, something I haven't really done in the past, and I think it's very important. I want to give you guys a little bit of insight into how I think the pandemic's going to change, how business is done moving forward, and how it's going to impact some of the markets, right? I think it's a pretty cool idea. I've never done this before. This is not to be investing advice, any type of advice. I'm not a pro. I'm an idiot that you guys are listening to that is just trying to help you guys, right? So let's get into it. First off, unfortunately, I do think a good chunk of businesses are going to struggle and potentially fail, right? I think moving forward, remote work is here to stay, okay? I think that businesses are starting to realize they have to be flexible. If you own a business, you better be thinking about this and better be as nimble and flexible as humanly possible. I was lucky that my partner is very good with systems, and we've been set up to be super flexible since day one. I think moving forward, remote work is going to be a good portion of the workforce, maybe 30, 40, 50%. Right. You see companies like Facebook coming out and they're saying, oh, well, we're gonna offer this to all of our employees. The employees enjoy it as long as they can monitor productivity, and they absolutely have the technology to do so. I think it's here to stay. Right. So let's think about this from a logical standpoint. If remote work is here to stay, what's going to be the biggest shoe to drop? What's going to get impacted? Commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is going to get impacted. All these office buildings, a lot of them are empty. On my office building here in New York, I think it's at 20%, 30% occupancy. It's down. Like they lost a few clients. I do in West Palm, where we have an office. Same thing. I don't think they're going to be able to find people. All right. I think there's going to be big opportunities in cleaning, sanitation, sterilization. I think anything that has to do with remote work is going to be a big opportunity, right? I do think that the stimulus, I think you're going to see some things in the future. The government, as much as we can all say they can print money, I also struggle with, where's this money going to come from? Who's going to pay for it? And the truth of the matter is, we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for this in taxes. We're going to pay for this somehow down the line. All right. So these are just some things that are happening now. And what I think is how's it going to impact our future? Taxes are going to be higher. Remote work is going to be a big thing. Commercial real estate is definitely going to take a hit. Where's there a big opportunity? I think anyone that can use these commercial spaces for something other than what they were intended for, right? Obviously, there's always going to be, restaurants and brick and mortar are changing. There's no doubt, but like service places are always going to need a location. Restaurants are obviously going to need a location. So I'm not saying all commercial real estate, but some. So, if you can find a way to reuse or reinvent an office building. One, if you own an office building, that's the first thing I would be thinking. Two, if you're clever, I would think anything that you design around office building use, but not just to house offices, maybe like senior living or care, so somewhere along those lines, there's going to be an opportunity, and that might not be it, right? That might not be the ideal use, but if you can find how to use that commercial space or reuse that commercial space, you're going to be in really, really good shape. Again, any type of cleaning company is going to be big. I do think retail, as you know it, brick and mortar, and people have been saying this for years. This is not groundbreaking. It is going to suffer. It's just facts. Like you see, who was it? J.C. Penney's going out of business. You see Macy's, their stock getting crushed. These are all things that I don't know how they recover. Online sales, shopping online is huge. I'll give you an example. Instacart. I didn't even know about this. So, you've been using it this whole time. Well, good for you. I wish I found it earlier. You don't need to go food shopping anymore. You go to Instacart, Costco, load up, and yeah, it's a lot more. It's a good chunk more, but you know what? People will pay for convenience. That's another thing. If you can find a way to have a premium product or program or service, you can absolutely charge a premium if it's going to make people's lives better and more efficient, and they don't have to go out, in this. There's going to be a lot of little verticals like that are going to pop up, and if you can be ahead of that curve, well, you're way ahead of the game. Let's talk vacations. All right. I think that Airbnb is going to continue to grow, right? It's, nobody really wants to stay in a hotel. Airbnb, they're a lot of times cheaper, and they're definitely nicer, depending on where you're talking about. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in that, especially investable Airbnbs. So somebody that can put together, and that's something I'm working on. So if you guys are interested, reach out to me. Right? Reach out to me because I am looking to get some deals syndicated. I have a bunch of people that have experience doing it, and it's something that we're looking for potential investors. I think that, when you look at how things are changing, I also think from a sales point of view, right? So we always talk about selling. We always and being a business operator, I think the companies that can adapt with the technology that's present, like using Zoom calls. If your business was face to face, if you're using Zoom calls and video and social media, you're going to be way ahead of the game, right? If you haven't been doing that, you need to look into that. Great program to learn all that. One of my coaches, friends, mentors, Ryan Stewman, he has his Apex program. It's a phenomenal program, and I do think that goes into embracing technology to make sales, to grow your business. And I think that if you're not doing that, you're going to fall behind, and you're not going to be where you want to be, right? So again, that's another example of embracing technology, leveraging technology to be flexible, to be smart, and ultimately to achieve what you want to achieve, to impact more people. Online selling is here to stay. I think that a lot of people have struggled to adapt to that. And, if you're one of those people that are fighting the change, don't fight the change, right? You never want to swim upriver. It's a much harder swim. You want to go with the flow. And the flow is definitely embracing technology and online sales. I'm not saying that every brick and mortar place is going to die. That's certainly not my hope. That's not what I think. I think that people need to be flexible, right? I also think that we're going to see, in the future, the companies that adapt and change and improvise are going to be a lot more successful. It's very hard for big companies, large companies, to do this and to implement it better than small companies. So what's going to happen is these companies that are starting out of this pandemic, are going to have a leg up because they're going to be much more flexible. They're smaller. They're going to be more flexible, more nimble in the marketplace. And you're going to see a lot of opportunities. And I do think, again, commercial real estate if you can find a different way to utilize that type of space, it's going to be on sale, not just to buy, but also to lease and to rent. I'm trying to think of what other ways I see this going, and just spitballing it here, off the top of my head. There's a lot of opportunity that's going to be presented from this, and I will tell you that even though a lot of places are opening up right now, if there's another outbreak, you're going to see more of the same. And what's happening is demand is going way down. Everyone's, a good chunk of people are unemployed, which is terrible. That's never a good thing. And what I'd love to see during this, people improving themselves, right? So one of the things that helped me get through this was doing 75 hard, while this was going on. I came out of this thing much stronger, much better mentally, physically. And I think if you can do that, if you're somebody that was unemployed, don't just rush back in and get a job, get the first offer that's given to you. I think that you should look at what really has growth, what really has potential, what's gonna be around for a while. One of the things there's some industries I would steer clear away from, and I might offend some people, and that's okay. If you disagree with me, you're allowed to disagree with me. But I think car sales is brutal. All right, you have Carvana coming into the market, right? So car sales it's changing. It's dying, and you see that a lot. What's another opportunity that for salespeople that I think is going to be tougher moving forward? And real estate and mortgages is definitely one. You have Zillow coming in. You have Quicken and Rocket Mortgages. It's hard to go up against giants that are so tech savvy, and they can work off fractions of what you're used to charging, right? Will there always be a market for premium services? Absolutely. So I do think there are certain exceptions to everything that I'm saying. I don't think anything is absolute. That I never speak in absolutes. I'm just saying in general, this is what I feel. This is how I see this thing playing out, right? Commercial real estate is going to get hurt. Mortgages, real estate sales, right? These are things that if you can adapt and improvise and get ahead of, you're going to come out way stronger, right? With all the money being printed, gold and Bitcoin, there's going to be opportunities. And I'm not one of these guys that is pro any of these things. I'm just saying, if you kind of read what's going on here, there's a lot of opportunities to be had. And this is not investing advice. This is just me, trying to, I don't even want to say educate, just trying to help you guys see what's actually going on. If I was starting a business today, I would make it as flexible as possible. I would incorporate Zoom. It would all be online sales. It would be, everybody has the ability to work from home remotely, and people are being monitored, right? So you want to be able to monitor your employees. I would also pay top dollar, right, in commissions versus letting people sit at home and drawing on a salary, okay? And that's something that has to be incorporated into a business model before you make any type of decision. I think there's going to be a lot of investable opportunities in the future, right? Whether it's residential real estate, which is I've always been a very, very strong believer in, because people are always going to need a place to live no matter what happens. I think cleaning and sanitation is going to be big. So there are, and again, using commercial space other than how it was originally intended. I think these are all tremendous opportunities. I wish I had someone to bounce these off of on this show to get input and maybe play devil's advocate on some of these, right? And I also think that the people that come out of this stronger are the people that really stayed focused, committed. Maybe that you tried to learn a new skill. Maybe you lost weight. Maybe you worked out. Again, 75 hard was tremendous for me in doing this. these are just some of my thoughts. I hope it helps, right? And again, if you get anything, one little thing out of this, or there's someone you think needs to hear this, please share it with them. Okay, send it to them in a DM, post it on social media and leave us a 5-star review. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Success out of failure.
Thanks for tuning in to Creating Success Out of Failure. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it, post it on social media, and leave us a 5-star review. I'll catch you on the next one.
Creating success out of failure.